Wednesday, 11 a.m. Welcome to the weekly DPT-TV with current news and reports from the field of prevention. At the beginning, I would like to draw your attention to the opportunity to actively participate in the DPT Annual Congress. You can still apply today and tomorrow for your own contribution to this year's German Prevention Congress. The deadline for the application is tomorrow, the 30th of June, and this applies to all formats of the hybrid Congress. For example, both lectures and practical impulses, which this year will mainly take place in this online format. However, this deadline is also applicable to the formats that awaits us at the Presence Congress. For example, information stands in the exhibition, specialist artists, posters, workshops, and then you can apply online. We look forward to your participation. All information and application forms can be found under this link. The German European Forum for Urban Security, DPT for short, met last week for its first general meeting of the year. DPT is the German branch of EFUS, the European Forum for Urban Security, and a network of 16 German cities that exchange views on security and prevention issues here. For this purpose, DPT organizes, for example, regular meetings, workshops, and training courses for the member cities. The exchange in this network there works very well and is particularly because it takes place directly between the cities. It is, above all, unbureaucratic. Last week, for example, the member cities met in Berlin, took a look at Görlitzer Park together, and they talked about how we can deal well with public spaces that are so conflict-ridden and used in so many different ways. And if you would like now to know how practical this really is and whether it would also be a benefit for your city to become a member of DPT, we have brought direct pictures from the member meeting in Berlin for you. Cities are helping some other cities. This is our slogan. So we can see that DPT is an exchange with particular challenges of urban security. Representatives of the 16 different German cities met last week in Berlin. The quest for ideas for spaces that are written and public spaces were the main topic of the meeting. So they went into the Görlitzer Park and they wanted to have a new innovative approaches. So this was something that they wanted to do in order to turn a problematic park into attractive park. They wanted to have very concrete solutions. They wanted to also have some new proposals for marginalized groups. The second day of the meeting, so we see that we had Christian Combat, the City Council Department for Internal Affairs, and Deputy for Law Order, and Christa Spesch, First Mayor of the City of Mannheim. So there were different projects that were presented. They talked about prevention of deadly crime and solidarity between cities in Europe. In the exchange, the participants defined different topics that are going to be deep dived in the next months for the work of the 25 representatives of the cities. And then the participants exchange actively and they support each other in order to create together life values and safer cities. Many thanks to DPT team Anna Rau and Lawrence Schätzler. And we come now to the prevention news of the week. BKA publishes a Federal Situation Report, Weapons Crime 2021. In 2021, fewer violations of the Weapons Act were registered nationwide, more precise, a decrease of 12.5% compared to the previous year. This means that the downward trend in registered violations of the Weapons Act since 2018 continues. Also, 9.8% fewer offenses were registered in which a firearm was used. Violence Against Women Helpline again records increase in counseling volume. Even in the second year of the COVID pandemic, the number of counseling sessions at the Violence Against Women helpline also increased. In 2021, the helpline recorded an increase of 5% compared to the previous year, which is more than 54 1,000 counseling sessions. There had been an increase of 15% in 2021. The nationwide helpline is aimed at women affected by violence, but also at people from their environment and professionals. The counseling is free of charge, anonymous, and confidential, is offered in a total of 18 foreign languages. The pandemic has made children unhappier. Several studies have already shown that the corona pandemic and the accompanying infection control measures have had a considerable impact on the mental health of many. But how has the COVID pandemic affected the mood and life satisfaction of children? A team from the Institute of Psychology at the University of Dortmund investigated this and compared it with data collected before the pandemic. You can read the impressive findings in the published report. And if we are honest, the current crisis have made us all feel insecure, stressed, unhappy. One is overloaded with information, expectations, responsibility, the workload. In our reports and in our section Pictures Without Words, we can look at this picture. You have probably encountered content on internet that you found problematic and asked yourself, do I have to report this? Who should I contact? ProPK, the police crime prevention program of the Länder and the federal government, is also concerned with this. In the following contribution, they give a brief overview of what digital content is actually punishable and what you can do if you come across strong violence, war, glorification, and representation of abuse in social networks, in chats, or messengers. You can find content that is punishable. Before everything, I would like to give you an overview of what can be punishable. So there are some videos, there are symbols or chats, messages that can be dangerous for our young people. For example, can be extremist content, glorification of the Nazi regime, of brutal violence. So there's a ban on abuse representation, so we can call it child pornography. We can find videos with real abuse on children. How can you report this content? How can you stop this kind of violence? The first interlocutor is your police. In Germany, we have 2 report units. The first one is the Internet Claim in Unit and the Youth Protection Network. It's very important that all different participants can report the internet page. It can be the URL on the internet page, or it can be a profile name in a chat. And what can we do, for example, with videos and images when we only are unsure what we can classify? So first thing, you do not forward this kind of messages and videos. So if you don't know if forbidden or not, so in a way you have to report this kind of content to the police. So they're going to be checked and their widespread is going to be stopped. So you can find all different police recommendations and all the different ideas on the screen. Particular information to report illegal actions can be found on our website at www.soundswrong.de. Many thanks to Victoria Jerkem and Joachim Schneider. In conclusion, I wish you insightful representations, practical impulses, and subsequent discussion, and say goodbye. See you next week, Wednesday at 11 o'clock at DPT-TV.